Hello Disney fans, welcome to my first ever review, and I have to start with my all-time favorite Disney movie, Beauty and the Beast. Now the original Beauty and the Beast, made in 1991, broke incredible ground for animated movies. It was the first ever animated movie to be nominated for an Academy Award for Best Picture. So when I first heard they were going to do a live action version of that, I think my reaction was the same as a lot of other people's. Don't mess this up, you have to do this right. And I have to say that they did. Plus, now, some people might question, how could you improve on a movie that was that good? But as good as the original Beauty and the Beast was, there were some things that were addressed in the remake that were questions left by the original movie. One of these is what Maurice was doing all the time that Belle was in the castle. It shows parts of it, but it doesn't really go into how could he have been in the woods that long? What was going on with him? And it doesn't really establish Belle and the Beast quite as much as you would think looking back on it. It has a lot to do with Belle interacting with Lumiere and Cogsworth and Chip and Mrs. Potts. But the focus of the movie should be the romance between Belle and the Beast and how they fall in love. And I think this adds some things to the original that really help to establish that. It helps to set the pace of how they fall in love, and it helps to show things that were just hinted at in the montage during the Something There sequence in the original. Another thing that they improved on was some of the characters. They fleshed them out a little bit more, one of these being LeFou. There was a lot of debate when they first made an announcement about a detail of LeFou's character, and I'm not going to go into that today, but I think that one of the things that they changed that really makes this special is they have LeFou be more of his own character. He's not just the fool. He's not just an extension of what Gaston wants. He's a person who looks back on what's going on and he's thinking, is this right? Am I doing what's right? Is Gaston all I think he is? And that takes a lot for someone to look at someone that they consider a hero and see maybe they aren't the person I think they are. Maybe they aren't such a hero. So I love that detail in the new version. I also love the fact that they detail what's happening in the village. That was a question I had when I first watched this movie as a child. Even then, the Beast was originally a prince. Now, you can't just have a prince disappear and have his whole kingdom not question, well, why is he not passed down any new laws? Why is he not doing any of the things a prince does? Why is he not seeing to our people? This movie addresses what was going on in the village and why they weren't asking those questions. So, as good as the original is, I really think that the live action remake does make some improvements on it. Some things that it doesn't do quite as well, though, the special effects can't quite live up to the animation of the original. To make a balanced review, I have to say the flaws in both, and as I said, there were some flaws in the original, and there are some flaws in this. They have the character designs not quite what you remember as a child, and the first images were, to be honest, a little bit scary to some people, especially the design of Mrs. Potts. They were wondering, how is this going to work? When you see it in the movie and you get to feel for the characters the way you did in the original, you do get to see them the way they were, and I think that's the point of the whole movie, basically, is seeing beyond the first appearances, so it does, in a way, really work to help establish that. But at the same time, you don't want to be too off-putting at first. Another good point about the live-action remake is they have some new music added to it. I absolutely love the song that the Beast sings. That was something that was missing from the original. They didn't give the Beast his own musical number. And that really helps to go into what he is suffering in this time. You get a lot of complaining from him in the original of, I'm this monster now, I hate this life. But in this remake, you really get to see into his thoughts of how he's dealing with the turmoil, not just complaining, but really getting what he's feeling. And that is a detail that I think really enhanced the live action remake. So, most of you already know the story. I don't want to spoil any plot changes for those of you who haven't seen the new one yet. All I have to say as of now is it's really worth the effort that they put into it. It's really worth the time to go see it. buy the DVD, put it in. It's a good movie. It's worthy of the original, and I think that those of you giving it a chance will enjoy it. And that's a trick with all these new remakes is give them a chance. There's a song that came out in the 25th anniversary of the Disney parks that they played at the time called Remember the Magic. And I think that is the goal of the live action remakes, to bring us back, the adults who have left that generation of childhood, back to that era in their lives, and it's giving them a taste of that magic back. So, this is April, and until next time, remember the magic.